Hey everybody, we're just demonstrating a cool feature of Octiga. So we're big on reducing alert fatigue with users. And the reduction of alert fatigue means you can't be alerted on every single thing that apparently is suspicious. However, you do need um, things bundled, and we like to bundle things into incidents rather than just alerts. So for example, if one of our users, or sorry, one of the users of one of our clients logs in from a suspicious location or is doing some suspicious activity, we'd like a ticket created. And then additional information as may come up throughout the course of the day or a few days over which the apparent breach is occurring. We would like that added to the same incident. And we do this for baseline deviations. We do this for users on a client tenant. And this means that you're bundling into incidents means you can address incidents as singular items and either remediate or mark things as safe, and you're not overwhelmed by loads and loads of alerts as you would be if you were just using sort of email alerts. And we do this by integrating with PSA. So we integrate with the Halo PSA as we're showing you here, and we integrate with Autotask, and we have ConnectWise coming out soon, and potentially a few others in the pipeline very soon as well. And so what we would do here is we bundle the incident around Patricia Jones in this case. So one of our software developers who designed the system created it so that once the ticket is closed in Halo, if we've remediated or addressed it or investigated and find that it's closed in one way or other, that tells our system again that that ticket is closed. And if there's additional information, then we would treat that as a new breach and open up a new ticket. So it's sort of a smart integration. So would you mind going through the triage for Patricia Jones here? So we just created, this is our test environment, and we've created a demonstration user. We've called her Patricia Jones, and this would be mapped in your Halo PSA. So would you mind clicking through? So we can see through the various activity that was going on. All of this activity was attributed to her for that client tenant. So we bundled it all together, and the ticket is currently open. In this case, sorry, Patricia Jones is actually the person in the MSP who's addressing this, and the particular user on this test tenant is some admin user. So would you mind clicking through the link that take us to the user details in the Octiga system, and you can flick it over to our staging environment, please. Great. Okay, so in this case, you would want to triage this, and you'd want to say, well, what's going on here? Is this a user we want to investigate? Is this indeed a breach? Do I need to remediate this, or do I need to mark this as some sort of safe activity? So in this case, the user was admin at this particular organization, and of course, a breach of an admin could be terribly bad thing. So would you mind clicking through to the danger events, and we'll take a look at the most recent danger events for this user. And so this just allows us to really quickly triage this kind of thing. So we can see here there was a user logged in. I think there was an interesting day we saw there. Was it the 25th of October, Woon, that had some additional information. So obviously this breach has been going on over a number of days, and this one hadn't been remediated, but this is a test scenario. And you can see here there's a lot of very useful information around what this user was doing. User login failed, user login succeeded, consent to applications. And if you would mind clicking info, and we could get some additional information about what this particular user was doing. You can see some app role assignments. We would even see information about SharePoint access, the different files that were accessed in SharePoint, and what we're creating is a really quick way of triaging this. Now, Woon, if you wouldn't mind clicking through to one of the user login events, please, just right here, and we can see what the options are around this. Now, in this particular example, this was on a company that hadn't Ireland set up as a safe region, and this activity happened in Ireland. So on this one, Woon, would you click through to the locate on the geolocation tool, please? And we'll show where that was occurring from. And at this point, we have a number of options as an MSP. We can add Ireland to our safe list. However, that might be applicable, or we could do something where we know this user is on holidays, on business in this region, because we might call the client and tell them this very quick triage information that really any of our support engineers could understand. And would you mind drawing a radius region maybe in this instance? Because we might just give the example of where the client says, you know what, this person was doing some business in the area and they're only going to be in Galway for a certain number of days. It's a bit like a travel advisory, and we can apply those changes then. In fact, don't apply them this time, Woon, because we don't want to change this data on this tenant. But just for the example, this would be an example of a remediation where we know this to be safe activity, and we don't want to be have this characterized as risk anymore. Of course, the alternative would be, and maybe Woon, would you show that for a moment, where we could change the username and password change the password for this user if we felt this was a breach. Would you mind going back to the event in question, Woon, and clicking in and just, yeah, and that would reset the password. We won't click it this time, Woon, just because it's test data, but this would log them out of all sessions and reset the password for this user. So very quickly we can go from PSA alert, incidents or bundles who are not being over alerted. We can really quickly triage something. Anybody on your support engineer team could triage based on the information you saw there. It's all there, very quick, and we can either address this with the client and them tell us this is safe activity or this is risky activity, and either remediation is in the blink of an eye. And that's just a really quick demonstration of that. Woon, thanks so much for your time. And if anyone wants a demo of the Octiga system, pop onto our main site and schedule me up for a demonstration. Thanks.